Adam at Digimon TCG Scotland here, and today I'm bringing you something a little bit different. Today I'm bringing you a deck list, and it's not just any deck list. This is one of my favourite decks that I've been playing for quite some time now. I've modified it with BT4 cards, and I'll be modifying it when it comes out again. It is, of course, RustTyrannomon, a rogue deck. It's not meta in any sense of the word. I've found that it can brick quite heavily sometimes and it can lose, but I just adore the concept and I love RustTyrannomon as a Digimon and Tyrannomon, and I think it's so cool. So I'm going to be going through my personal deck list. Of course, if you want to use this, by all means feel free. You can change it, do whatever you want with it, and if you win anything with it, please let me know. Any victory for RustTyrannomon is a victory in the eyes of our Lord and Saviour, RustTyrannomon. So we're going to go over the deck list today, and if there's any sort of changes or anything that you can think of that I might have missed, feel free to let me know as well. So starting off with our babies, we will be starting off with Minomon. We play 4 of these. Its inheritable skill is when attacking. If you attack one of your opponent's Digimon, this Digimon gains plus 1000 DP for the turn. And as I'll mention on a few of these cards, this effect does stack. So if you attack multiple times in one turn, you gain plus 1k DP for each time you attack. So it can lead to RustTyrannomon having some pretty beefy numbers. So we play 4 Minomon, and to round it off we play 4 Motimon. When this Digimon is level 6 or higher, it gains plus 1000 DP. Pretty simple card. If I could play 5 Minomon I would, but the Motimon rounds it off. Moving on to our rookies, we are playing 4 copies of this Palmon. This Palmon is from the structure deck, and it's got the same inheritable as Minomon. If you attack an opponent's Digimon, you gain plus 2k for the turn. Again, this effect does stack, so if you're able to unsuspend yourself, then you'll be able to add another plus 2k. It's a 3 cost to play down and a 0 cost to evolve, and a very good card to have. We play 4 of these. We play 3 of the Agumon from BT4. On my turn, this Digimon gets plus 1000. It's not as good as the Palmon, but it's still a nice boost if you don't have a Palmon available. We're playing 3 copies of Goblimon. Goblimon is a 2-drop to play, so you can just play it down quite easily, and a 0 cost to evolve. Doesn't have any inheritables, but it's mainly in this deck so I can play it down onto the field in case I need it. Green, of course, being quite popular for Digisorption decks. This deck doesn't run any Digisorption. I've not found it necessary, and I've found it to hinder me from times because I'm often suspending my own Digimon, which could be used for attacking when I don't really want to. And to round off the rookies, we're playing 2 Terriermon. Now, I was playing 2 Tentomon, which lets you reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's a green Digimon, or if it's a green card, add it to your hand. But I'm substituting that out for 2 copies of Terriermon, which is on all turns, your opponent can't gain memory except with Tamer effects. Going into the BT5 format, there is a deck called Lilithmon Loop. You'll have seen it being displayed on this channel, and there are many other effects and option cards that let you gain memory, and Terriermon is a great way of just denying that from happening and potentially blocking your opponent from taking the win. So we play 2 of these. You can evolve from it if you want to, but it's best to just have it out on the field if you get spare memory at any point in time. Moving on to our champions, we're playing 4 of the blocker Kabuterimon. It's a 2 cost to evolve, and again, simple blocker, and then when you attack you lose 2 memory. Moving on to 4 copies of, whoops, that's a bit better. I clicked on the wrong thing when making the deck builder, apparently. We'll go to this Togemon first. So this is the same effect as Palmon and Minomon. If you attack an opponent's Digimon, this Digimon gets plus 2k DP for the turn. So ideally, if you've got a stack of Togemon, Palmon and Minomon, you're getting plus 5k, which again, if you're able to unsuspend, stacks multiple times, so you can get yourself up to pretty beefy numbers. So that's our main Togemon that we want under our Digimon. We play 2 of these Togemon, which is when Digivolving, reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck. and add one level 5 or higher Digimon card from among them and place the rest on the bottom. This is great for searching out Metal Tyrannomons, Bancho Stingmons, anything that's level 5 or higher we can get out with Togemon. We did play 4 of these originally. I did play 4 of these originally, but I've recently dropped it down to 2 because I'm also now playing 2 Tyrannomon, which is when Digivolving, reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck, add 1 level 5 Digimon and 1 green Tamer. This is good for searching out your Tigers and your Mimis, which we'll get onto in a moment. I did add these 2 back in because you can of course use Tiger to tap and get a cheaper Digivolution cost. We'll cover that. But this is also good because it is a 4 play cost, so you can potentially just drop it down. Right, moving on to our ultimates. We're playing 4 copies of Metal Tyrannomon, which is a 2 cost to evolve, 7 cost to play, and its inheritable is when this Digimon deletes one of your opponent's level 6 or higher Digimon, unsuspend it. This is the main level 5 that you want underneath it. It's great for getting Rusty unsuspended and able to attack and attack again. We're playing 3 copies of Skull Scorpiomon. This is your 5 drop, 2 to evolve. Worst case scenario, if you start with this in your hand and nothing else that's useful, you just drop a Skull Scorpiomon, because then you're threatening a RustTyrannomon next turn, among other things, and it's a 2 cost to evolve, and it's really, really good. I play this over Blossomon because, again, as I've said, I'm not a fan of the Digisorption mechanic, because I end up making misplays. And again, you could put Blossomon in this as well. I prefer having the 5 drop vanillas as well. And we're playing 1 copy of Mega Kabuterimon from the starter deck. This has the inheritable of when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, you trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. It's a good card, it's very useful. I've not found it to be as useful as Metal Tyrannomon, because again I want to be taking board wipes and stuff with Rusty. And this effect only triggers once, whereas Metal Tyrannomon has the potential to trigger as many times as you attack a level 6. And then moving on to our boss monster of the deck, our man himself or herself, RustTyrannomon. Now, this is an 11k basic. It's very good because it's not a 12k, which means it can't get hit by Bancho Stingmon, which is what we'll cover. Its main effect is if I have a green Tamer in play, I can attack unsuspended Digimon. So you've heard that right. If you're not familiar with RustTyrannomon, it lets you completely bypass the mechanic and attack any Digimon on the field that you want to. It is a 4 cost to evolve, so if you're playing a Mimi or a memory setter, you might need a little bit more memory in order to do it, but we do play Tigers, which we'll get to in a moment. As I've said, that lets you reduce the Digivolution cost to potentially make it 3, even 2, or even 1. Its secondary effect is if you do delete an opponent's Digimon in battle and survive, you suspend one of your opponent's Digimon that is still on the field. So if this has just deleted a level 6, you're going to be able to suspend something else and have Metal Tyrannomon unsuspend RustTyrannomon, and then it can attack again and again and potentially wipe the board. When I've been playing this, I have been able to wipe a board on quite a few times. It is extremely satisfying to watch even blockers and high level Digimon that are purposefully not attacking just be gone. And to complement our boss monster, we have 1 copy of Bancho Stingmon. Bancho Stingmon is the boss monster killer. It has piercing, which means it will hit a security or multiple, regardless of what it destroys. And when attacking, if you attack an opponent's Digimon that has 12k or higher, it gets plus 7,000, security attack plus 2. So, what this means is that if your opponent's playing Imperial Dramon or anything with 12k and over, even Omnimons and level 7s, this is going to be able to attack into it, delete it, and then it's going to check 3 security, which is incredible. If you're playing it with the Togemon, the Palmon, and the Minomon underneath, that plus 7k becomes a plus 12k, and it goes up to 21,000. If you've got a Metal Tyrannomon underneath it, that thing's unsuspend. You're going to be able to unsuspend it and attack again. The security attack plus 2 still carries over, so you're going to be able to wipe security 1 go. And honestly, Bancho Stingmon is just one of those fantastic one-offs in any green deck. If you're not playing Bancho Stingmon in your green deck, I highly recommend you do so. As long as you've got a memory setter out, you're able to just go straight into it from a level 5 on your turn and just threaten a board and change the flow of the game completely. It is a fantastic card. And we're also playing one copy of the promo Grand Coagamon, which is the Digiburst 2 effect, and you can give something else security attack +1. So what you can do is, if you've got a RustTyrannomon out and you're comfortable with it, you can bring out Grand Coagamon and Digiburst it to give your Rusty +2 security attack, or even itself. And it's good for, I found it surprises quite a few opponents and when you play that, and it can help finish off the game. Your main sort of strategy with this deck is board control. You're trying to make sure that they only put Digimon out you're going to be able to destroy, and as long as you can get set up very, very quickly, you're going to be good to go. If your opponent gives you 3 memory to work with, you can get into a RustTyrannomon on your turn, on your first turn, because you go into a Palmon, then into a Kabuterimon, into a Metal Tyrannomon, which puts you to 0 memory, and then into a RustTyrannomon, which gives them 4. But I have been able to do this quite a few times when opponents haven't had anything else to play, so they just give me 3 memory to work with, and it can completely just immediately just set you up for a game within a few turns. Moving on, we do play 2 copies of level 7 Chaosmon. Chaosmon is great. It does the exact same thing as RustTyrannomon. It has piercing, and when you digivolve it, you unsuspend it, and then it can attack opponents' Digimon. So say you've used RustTyrannomon, you've got into the security, you're nearly there, and then they've got one big thing still out, or even anything still out. You just go into Chaosmon, kill that, and then you continue with your security checks. Really, really good, and it's very, very handy. It's also got 14 KDP, so it's very good to use. Moving on to our tamers, we play 3 Mimi Tachikawa, and this is a memory setter. It sets your memory to 3, and if you've got a level 5 or higher in play, you can suspend her to hatch a Digi-Egg, or move a level 3 or higher from your breeding area to your battle area. If you can get 2 of these set up, it means you can hatch and then bring something out. It does, it will allow you to attack because you're not playing it. Doesn't have summoning sickness. It's a very good card, and it's one of the best memory setters out there, along with the yellow TK. And then we're playing 3 copies of Taiga, and this is the card that interacts with Tyrannomon. He gives all Tyrannomons piercing, so whenever you're deleting a Digimon, if you've got a Taiga in play, you're going to be checking security at the same time. And when you digivolve into a Tyrannomon, so that includes Tyrannomon, Metal Tyrannomon, and RustTyrannomon, you can suspend Taiga to reduce the memory cost of the Digivolution by 1. So even if you've only got 1 Taiga out and you've got a Mimi, on your turn you're going to be able to tap Taiga and get a Rust out for 3 to put you to 0 memory, but you're going to be able to attack with it, and he is very, very strong. For the longest time I thought he was a girl, until someone told me that in the anime he's a guy, and I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. He's pretty cool, really dig the artwork for him as well. And then to round off, we're playing some options. We're playing 2 copies of Dimension Scissor. Thanks to my teammate Melrose for letting me know about this card. It gives your Digimon, when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, unsuspend it. It essentially gives you the Metal Tyrannomon effect, and as long as you just play 1 of these, you're going to be able to wipe whatever is on their board. Super, super good. We're playing 1 copy of Hidden Potential Discovered. This is the only sort of Digisorption mechanic that I play in the deck, and it's the next time one of your green Digimon digivolves, you can suspend one of your other Digimon, including the one that you're digivolving, to reduce the memory cost by 5. So you could absolutely bring out a Goblimon for 2, tap it with Hidden Potential, and then evolve into a RustTyrannomon for free. It's a limited card. It's one of the only limited cards in the format, and you're limited it to 1. But otherwise, it is a very good card, and you should always run a 1-off of this in your deck. And finally, we play 1 copy of Terror's Cluster, which is to return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon to the bottom of their deck and trash the Digivolution sources. I did play more of these originally, but now I keep it around mainly for Millennium Mons and other things that are quite difficult to get rid of. So as long as their Digimon is attacking, you can pop it to the bottom of their deck, so you don't trigger any sort of nasty on-deletion effects or anything like that. So that's your 50 card deck with 5 Digi-Eggs. The cost up the top here says something like $180, but when I was building it, I was able to get all the cards, including the RustTyrannomons, for I'd say around about maybe £40 in total. The Chaosmons, obviously, I have 2 of the alternate arts, which is what I've got here, but it is just a rare card, so they're not expensive either. but I would highly recommend you try this deck out. I love it. One thing I will say is that when BT5 comes out, there's not any new green stuff that it interacts with very well, so I'd be keeping the deck as it is. But when the AEX Classic Collection comes out in November or December, there is a Tyrannomon coming out, which lets you play a Tiger when you Digivolve if you don't have one in play, so that's super handy to keep your memory from going. And it's also treated as a green Digimon, and it gives your Tyrannomons plus 2k. So it's a good thing to play alongside the Togemons as well. But yep, that'll do it for this video, guys. Please let me know what you think. We're going to be doing a lot more deck related videos and things with the advent of BT5 coming out. There is a Europe Regionals coming up soon, so hopefully we'll be able to cover some of that as well. But otherwise, I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time, and have a wonderful evening and the rest of your day. We'll see you later. Bye bye.